Hi everyone, this is my second recording. I am going to explain literature circles so that you can have a sense of how this process is going to work. Okay, literature circles, let's get started. Sorry, clicking. Okay, for literature circles, they're going to include modules 2 through 10, and in your group, you're going to engage in these on discussion board. Each member has an assigned role for each module, and each member changes roles for different modules. So you start with one role and you'll do a different role for the next module, a different role for the next module, and on like that. So you as a group have to figure out which roles you're going to do for each module. You're going to post your contribution, in other words, whatever your role is, you're going to post that on discussion board by Monday night of each module. And what it is about is the readings for the week. So if we're reading chapter 1 and chapter 12, it's going to be about those readings, and you kind of pick and choose what you want to focus on in your own contribution. Your replies to each other should be done by Thursday. So the module goes from Thursday to Thursday, and in the middle of the module, you'll post your contribution, and by the end of the module, you should have replied and dialogued with other group members. The group discussion director for the module has a special responsibility to foster discussion and dialogue. So if you see that people aren't responding, or there's some clarification, or however you want to do it, just make sure that there's some dialogue going on. Each member posts a self-assessment at the end of the module, and the group reflector also posts at the end of the module. So that's how that works, and let's move on. Okay, the literature circle roles are discussion director, literary luminary, connector, word wizard, group process reflector, and the role sheets are on Blackboard. So let me show you where the role sheets are. Here we are at my home page for EESL 671, and if you go to assignments, you'll see literature circles here, and these are the role sheets. Even though it says 544, it's the same one for my other class, so click on that. That has most of the roles on it, so you would just do whatever one role you're assigned. Here's the group process reflector. Now that one's done at the end of the module, so that one is the person who's reflecting on how the group did and what the issues were, strengths and weaknesses, that kind of thing. Ignore the self-assessment one because I'm going to include the self-assessment within each module, and it will be a self-assessment not only of literature circles but also of your participation as a whole. Okay. So those literature circle roles are explained in more detail both in the syllabus and in those group role sheets. So you'll want to open those. The great thing about a literature circle, and this is very important for our class because we're thinking about how people learn, how we help people to learn. A really important part of helping people to learn is to foster reflection, to foster metacognition. And the literature circle includes that. So a literature circle is also a very social way of learning. It's an interactive way of learning. You learn by interacting with others. You learn by seeing what others do with the same role. You learn by having people ask you questions or clarify what you're saying or give you advice on how to do a certain thing. So learning is very social, and there's a lot of advantages, especially for language learning, to interacting with peers, because you interact with peers in different ways than you interact with a teacher. So that's part of why we're trying to help you guys understand some formats for fostering social learning in the classroom. When you do teach social ways of learning, you can't just leave it up to students to do a good job at collaborating, to do a good job at interacting in groups. It needs to be something that you teach explicitly, and we're going to look at this later in the class in detail. But social skills and collaboration themselves are important skills for the 21st century. And we as teachers can provide strategies, can provide models, can provide ways of interacting that will help our students to become better at both social and collaborative skills. A literature circle allows learners to be explicitly guided in these collaborative and leadership skills. And finally, the group process reflection and the self-assessment are metacognitive components of this format. They allow learners to focus on their own thinking, to set their own goals, to think about their own learning, and to think about their own strengths and weaknesses. This is all what we call metacognition, and it's recognized as being a very important part of language learning in particular. Okay, now I'm going to turn to discuss how to do the literature circle. So you have in the remaining slides, you have a detailed explanation of how to do the literature circle, but I'm going to walk you through it on our actual Blackboard site. Okay, here's our Blackboard site, and you see over in the left-hand column there is the word groups. So in order to access your group, you'll click on groups. Okay, and whatever group you're in will pop up. I created a test group for my student preview so I could show you what it looks like for students. But you have a group. You're either in group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, etc. You've been already placed in groups. So you should see a group name here and click on it. Then your group will pop up and it will show you the members of the group, and it gives you the tools and that kind of thing. So for this one, click on group discussion board. And then what you're going to do is one member of your group needs to create a forum for your group discussion. So you would click here, create a name for the forum, and please give it the name of the particular module that it's relevant to. So this is group lit circle, for example, module 2. Okay. You can include a description if you want. For example, if you guys have assigned roles already, you could put the assigned roles in there, or whatever you as a group would like to do with that space. I'm going to leave it blank and then click submit up here. Okay, now your group, this is your group discussion board. We're back to your group discussion board. So after you click on group and then discussion board under tools, you'll get this page, and you'll click on the module that you want to, the relevant module, the relevant forum that one of your group members has created. Now here we are in the forum. When you go into the forum, I want you to create your own thread for your role. So create a thread and then put Kathy Howard, discussion director, for example. Please put your name and the role that you're performing. So you put that in there, and then you just click in this message box and type in your contribution. You can, if you want to, you can attach your focus sheet or you can just type in your contribution here. Like if you're the discussion director, you would type in questions. If you're the word wizard, you could just type your words in here. So, but what I don't want you to do is only attach a file. That's going to make grading very, very hard for me because it takes a lot of extra time for me to download all the files and read them. So you must type your contribution in the message box. And if you want to, as an addition for your group mates, you can also attach something. Then just click submit. And what happens is once you go, let's go back. So let's go to groups. And now I've submitted my contribution. I'm waiting for others to submit their contributions, and I know I need to reply to my group mates. So a couple days later or the next day, I go back into my group. I click on group discussion board, and then I go back into the module, the forum for the module, and here I'm going to see other people's threads. So my thread is here and other people's threads will be underneath that. Then I can just click on their thread to read it. So here's what I typed. Here's what your group mates would have typed. And in order to reply to them, just click here on reply. I think this looks different on my PowerPoint, so I apologize. Anyway, apply here. Great thoughts, Kathy. No, but I really want you to have substantive replies. Don't just put, oh, I like your idea, something like that. You need to reply in a substantive manner. I want you to contribute things to the discussion. You're not going to reply to each and every person in a substantive manner, but at least reply to a couple of the people in a way that contributes. Okay, and then you click submit. So, and then when someone replies to you, you can reply back, and etc. So it goes on like that. But that's why I want each role to have its separate thread. Okay, finally, let's go back to PowerPoint. So we have finding your group, clicking on the groups, opening your group, clicking on group discussion board. One member of the group needs to create the forum. Not everyone does that. Just for each module, your group should only have one forum. Okay, so whoever the person is that will create that one forum for the module should be responsible for it. So go into the forum. Please don't create a separate forum for each role. That will get really messy for me to figure out. Okay. Here's how you name the forum for the module. And then when you want to go to contribute to your group's literature circle discussion for that module, you'll click on what your group mate created, the forum that your group mate created. And then you will create your own thread. Give a title to your thread, type your content in the message box, and click submit. And when you need to go back and reply, it didn't look like this if you remember. There was reply down at the bottom of the message to click on. And after you reply, you click submit. And that's it. So that's how you do your literature circle discussion. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.